Hello. Some years ago, I needed to obtain a document from a government office, and I went to that government office. I got there, and there was a lady behind the desk. I introduced myself and my mission, and she pulled the glasses on her eyes to her nose and peeped through and asked me, "You look familiar. Have I met you before?" And I said, "Probably." And she went on to ask, "Who is your father?" And I told her who my late father was. And she was like, "Really?" I saw her light up in excitement. And after that, she said to me, "You need to fill some forms and do this and do that, and approvals will be obtained." That normally it would take 1 week to obtain the documents. But she gave me a seat, made me comfortable, and even offered me a drink, and I sat while she processed the documents. She called up everybody in the line of, the process that we needed to go through to get the documents ready. And in 1.5 hours, she gave me that document. Now, this happened because somewhere someone had been nice to her. And today she felt obliged to return that kindness. So today we'll be talking about a topic, and the topic is goodwill. What is goodwill? And I want to say and define that the term goodwill has multiple meanings depending on the context. In business and finance, goodwill represents the value of a company's reputation, brand, and relationship with customers, suppliers, and employees. In accounting, goodwill is recorded as a tangible asset on a company's balance sheet. It represents the excess value of a business over its tangible assets. In our personal or social context, goodwill refers to a person's positive reputation, character, and relationship with others. It refers to acts of kindness, generosity, charitable donations, volunteer work, or just being your brother's keeper. Something about goodwill. Goodwill far outlives the giver of it. It rubs off on offsprings, relatives, and others. So it pays to be good. Now, this brings me to a recent incident. My daughter celebrated her 18th birthday, and I did a post on Facebook. And that post received well over 200 comments. And she expressed surprise because she's hardly on social media, and she isn't known by so many people. But, she said something that kept me thinking. And that was that she had received so many gifts, received so many goodwill messages, received gifts in cash and in kind. There were lots of prayers, and as a matter of fact, overwhelming good wishes from people. But she said to me, of all the gifts she received, it was the prayers and the goodwill messages that got to her the most. She said something about prayer. Various prayers that were prayed for her, the deep prayers that were prayed for her, the overwhelming love that was shown to her through prayers. And she said, prayer is a protocol, or prayers are a protocol that goes in front of you or in front of doors to wait for you before you get there. Prayers are a protocol that go in front of doors to wait for you before you arrive. And tell me, if prayers are a protocol that go before you and in front of doors to wait for you to open doors for you. You can imagine the kind of goodwill you will enjoy wherever you go. And we know for sure that what goes round comes round. So today, this episode tells us to be good. Because what we sow is definitely what we reap. And because the Bible says, as long as the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest. It talks about seed time, but harvest didn't say harvest time. It said harvest will continue. That means harvest is boundless. It will keep happening. So imagine that you have planted a bad seed. That means you will keep reaping bad seeds. But if you have planted a good seed, if you have been kind to people, a kind word, helping hand this way, you can imagine how people will hope it. A seed my father sowed several years ago, several years before retirement, several years before his death. I am here today to benefit from it. Because what? He did something good. On this note, we round off this episode of Lifestyle with Affi. Don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe.
Possible with you. Hearing your words, everything is possible with you.